A second aspect. The blessings flow as we're generous with the blessings. I said, you know, we have to be generous in giving these blessings away. We're going to talk about it now. We have an amazing ability to speak life into others. And do you know when we speak life into others, we are speaking blessing upon them. We have we're to be generous with the blessings, and the blessings are really not so much, as I was sharing before, although it could be, where I gave some finances away. The blessings are far beyond that. And one of the blessings we have is to speak life into other people. You know, I don't know that we fully comprehend the power of the tongue for blessing and cursing. But there's tremendous power in this little thing that wags continuously day in and day out. You know, women, what do they say, 25,000 words, men maybe 12. And some of you women are borrowing it from some of us men. I love you. Told you, man, you let that thing loose, it gets you in trouble. We have the ability to bind and curse. Bless and curse. We can free or bind others. We bless people. We can curse people. All by this thing. Why not share blessings? Why not withhold the curse? We can show grace or we can spew judgment. And it's what we choose to do with our mouths. You know, it's just what we choose to do. And, you know, I've been blessed with the ability to bless you. If I've been blessed with the ability to bless you, why would I curse you? You know, very important, because later we're going to see, and I'll just throw it in here, because the same measure that we give out, we shall receive. So do I want to receive blessings or do I want to be cursed? You know, if I'm going up the highway and somebody's kind of just, you know, doing all their stuff. Yesterday we were on our way to Cocoa, on our way back, and I stopped at a stoplight, and the light turned green. It was not green even more than a second, and somebody behind me blowing their horn. If I didn't have the other 5 people in the car, I simply said, "Are you kidding me?" You know, so often we just want to curse, not curse language, we just don't want to curse them. You know, you're an idiot, you're this, you're that, whatever. You know, we have the ability to speak life. Why not speak life? Why not bless others? Let's just bless them. It'll make you feel better, and speak something over their life that'll make them feel better. In fact, they may never have even heard a blessing upon their life. They might just have the anger being spewed to them constantly. For them to hear a blessing might just take them so off guard. You need to speak life and do it freely. We need to speak life and do it freely. Amen? How many can do a little bit more of that? Yeah? Yeah. Why not forgive others? Do you know we have within our power the power to forgive others? But you don't know, Pastor, what they wronged me. Well, listen, why walk around with a chip on your shoulder, inviting pain, suffering, and sickness into your life through the poison of unforgiveness? Why do that? Forgive. And forgive them, you know, generously. Just, I forgive them. The moment, and you got to work through it, because, I mean, there's a whole lot of the flesh that doesn't want to do that. I'm talking from experience. I've had some people hurt me, and I know what it is to just want to carry that thing, you know. I don't like you if I ever see you out. You know, that's one of those, you know, you got to forgive. You just got to let it go. You know, and do so generously, because you know who you really free? You free yourself.
That's right.
You know, so forgive others. These sellers, you know, some people don't even know that they wronged you. They're clueless. And you're walking around with this chip on your shoulder, and you got this thing against, you know, them. They didn't mean to wrong you, but somehow an offense was picked up, and now it rides you, weighing you down, destroying you, and they're going free. Who wins in that? Release them freely. Let the offense go. Give generally. Bless others. You know, and let's not judge. Let's not judge others. We don't know what it is to walk in their shoes. We don't know what it is causing them to act and behave in the fashion they're acting. I was in a conversation this past week on the telephone, And the individuals just started yelling at me, reaming me up and down. I'm thinking, whoa, what did I do to deserve this? And later I was talking to somebody else about this same conversation. I said, you know what? Zig Ziglar teaches this. He says, you know, we don't know who's kicking their cat. There's a whole concept where, I don't know if you've ever heard it, but, you know, the boss gets on somebody's case at work, and then a supervisor's case, and the supervisor then takes it out to on those who are under them, and they take it out on people under them, and then they finally go home, and it's like, I'm mad at the world, and the cat gets kicked, and you know, the cat's saying, what did I do? Just ran around all day, you know, you don't deserve this, you know. So I don't know what frustrated this particular individual. You know, I guess we can't judge others. We just need to let it go. Why do we stand in judgment against another when we have so much inside of ourselves that needs attention? And so do you want to receive generously? Do you want to receive mercy and forgiveness and blessings and be released generously? Yes, absolutely. Then we have to give it. Do you want God's abundance generously? Yes, then we have to be abundant in giving it out. Are you in search for the blessed life? Absolutely. Then I have to bless others. Be generous in extending grace, forgiveness, speaking blessings, and showing mercy. Because it's with that measure that we pour out to others that it is poured back into our laps. And if men pour it back in like fashion, how much more then does God reward those who are generous in showing these fruit of the Spirit? Being generous. Look at the covenant again. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace. This was how Aaron and the priest were to bless the people. Notice, they were to bless the people. This is how they were doing. And the truth is, if you want God's face shining upon you, if you seek his mercy toward you, if you desire to live in peace, sow mercy, blessings, and peace. Because what goes around does come around. It's the law of reciprocity. What you sow returns to you, pressed down, shaken together, running over. So the blessed life comes to those who are generous in giving out God's gifts to others, whether we deem those others as deserving or less deserving. That's the problem. Many times we say, but they don't deserve it. That's not I'm not the judge. God didn't say through Moses to Aaron, look, bless those who are deserving with this covenant. The Lord bless those. The Lord bless you who are deserving. The Lord keep you who are deserving. The Lord make his face shine upon you who are deserving. Hey, that's not what it says. Just speak blessings upon these individuals, whether we deem them to be deserving or not. It's simply a matter of what we got to be giving it out, blessing others, knowing that as we bless others, it returns to us in the same fashion. We got to understand this. These are not our gifts, so it's not for us to determine what measure we give them. God says they're his gifts, and we're to give them generously. They're God's gifts, and we're to give them away without reservation, without withholding, generously. And when we learn how to give generously, we'll receive the blessed life generously. The blessed life flows as we are faithful to God's call and work. Let me talk to you here. We are called to service. The basic word for service has within it serve. We are called to serve. We're to present our bodies as a living sacrifice in service to Jesus. We have a calling and a purpose. God has chosen us for himself. He's placed his hand upon us for good and not evil. He has destined us for the blessed life. But we have to answer his call. We have to be engaged in his work. You know, there's an individual who was a missionary, and I don't remember her last name, Diana, maybe you will. But Amber, down in the Dominican Republic, when we went there a year ago, she's working with Nelson DeFreitas and the team down there. She wrote recently on her Facebook, she said, 4 years ago, I came to the DR. She said, the DR didn't need me, I needed the DR. So what she was simply saying is, look, the change wasn't so much what I brought to what I took to the DR. The change is what they did in me, what God did in me as I went there in service to God. You know, we've been called to serve. We've been called to service. Jesus made it clear that there was this aspect of serving. We've got to serve Him. You know, you wouldn't be too happy if you went into a restaurant and all of a sudden they said to you, I mean, it's supposed to be fine dining. They said, go serve yourself. Happened to Gail and I and a few other couples. This is years and years ago. I'm thinking maybe 30 years ago. It was coming up on Valentine's Day, and since that's just around the corner, I feel it appropriate to tell the story. 5 or 6 couples decided we were going to go out for Valentine's dinner, and we were going to go down to this local Chinese restaurant that was known for its great food. And so we went down there. We made an appointment because we were like 6 couples, you know, and so, you know, we made an appointment, reservation, go down there on this Valentine's Day. And we got there and the place was packed and they said, we don't have a reservation for you. Oh yeah, but we called down. I mean, we made this reservation at Sephora, whatever time it was, and they said, we don't have a reservation for you. Well, what are we supposed to do? We called, we made a reservation, you know, let's see what we can do. So they managed to get a table together, pull it together for all of us to sit at one table. We walk in, we finally get seated, we're looking at the menu, and the lady comes out with plates. And she just puts them on the end of the table and says, here, take one and pass it down. All the silverware, not napkins, just forks, knives, spoons. Lay them on the end of the table, take one, pass it down. Okay, we made our order and finally got the stuff. There was a there was, you know, the whole ambiance thing going on. They had restaurant darkened and the lights lit. And our table didn't have the candles lit. And I said, could you light that candle? She said, you got a match? Oh, I'm not a smoker, don't have a match. You know, it just turned out to be one of those things. Finally, they brought us pitchers of water. You know, we're drinking water, and the pitcher got empty, and I said, would you refill our water? She said, there's the kitchen, go get some. I'm telling you, it's no lie. I took that pitcher and walked back into the kitchen and saw them mixing their Chinese food in big garbage cans. Yeah, clean. I'm sure they were clean, sanitized, you know. I'm sure that they were health department approved. There was no service in that restaurant. None. But listen, we laugh at that. They pride themselves in being the restaurant that has the greatest food. But service is terrible. I'm going to turn that on you. We've got the greatest message, but we don't serve it well. Ouch. That's when you come to me after service and say, Pastor, you've been stepping on my toes and I don't like it. Listen, Jesus made it clear that there was no riding the fence in his kingdom. You understand that, don't you? There's no riding the fence in the kingdom of God. You're either in or you're out. Right. He said you're either for me or you're against me. We looked at this past Wednesday night. He said you either gather or you scatter. So what does he mean by this? I mean, we think, well, oh, he's only talking to the sinners. That's what we think. Not the case. You know, he was talking to those who thought they were working the works of righteousness. And he was saying, unless you are engaged in God's purpose and being faithful to the call of God upon you, listen, he's saying, unless you're engaged in ministry and faithful to the call of God upon you, you are against me. He doesn't say, look, if you're comfortably sitting in the seats of the church, then you're for me. No, he says, unless you're engaged in the purpose for which I called you, unless you're engaged in the calling, unless you're serving in my kingdom, you're against me. And if you're not for me, then you cannot know or experience the blessed life. Some say, well, why am I a Christian and I'm not getting the blessed life? I'm confessing it. I'm proclaiming it. I'm doing all the things the TV preachers say. You can't sit idly by and expect the blessings come to you. You've got to engage in the purpose for which you were redeemed and for which you were called.